Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Spotlight Indie special for this right along sesh. It is great to see you. It's great to have you. If you're joining along, say hi. Let us know what you're working on. Joining us live for this right along, we have the amazing Alex S. Bradshaw. Hi, Alex. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing amazing, which is good because I'm the amazing Alex S. Bradshaw. So it's all fitting together. It's all working. Love it when a plan comes together.
And the phenomenal Phil Parker. Come on, that's amazing. How you doing, Phil?
I'm really not at all phenomenal, and not even a fon. Actually, I think probably a null, but otherwise, yeah. But I'm really quite average. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, and that's the goodness
Amazing.
that ever gets with me.
And we also have joining us the what's a word that's the empirical, the emphatic, the amazing Emily. Does that work? I've stolen yours, Alex, but hi, Emily.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Hey, good. Thanks. Yeah. I wasn't just stuffing my face with garlic bread when I arrived in the room or anything, just not.
Hey, it's a chilled out writing session. You can stuff your face with anything you like.
That's
not a challenge.
But I feel like I should get a sort of allowance because I burnt my fingers getting the garlic bread out of the oven. And obviously now we're going to be doing writing sprints. So I feel like that is a legitimate sort of handicap for an event like this. And I feel like it should be taken into consideration.
I feel like it's a literal handicap. Putting their hand in handicap is Emily Inkpen. Hi, Amy. Hi. Hello, Jamie. Good to see you. Hello, Holly. We're so ready for this, Holly. Let's do this. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Mr. Devons, Signor. Welcome. And hello, Amy, again. It's great to have you. So thank you for joining on. What we're here to do, obviously, we spotlight Indie, support one another. And quite often we write in isolation, but not today. Today, we write together. So that's the point of this. But there's nothing super scary about it. There's nothing formal. You're not expected to write a certain amount, otherwise you fail. It's just a chance to come together and do bookish things and feel like we're not alone. We've got support. We've got people around us who are doing the same awesome stuff. So thank you for tagging along. The plan for today. Does anybody know the plan already? Does anybody want to know the plan? Yeah.
I feel like
Emily, I got nods. Yeah.
I already know the plan, but I feel like we should maybe run through the rough plan just so people know.
Yeah.
I'm amazed there is a plan. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
An amazing vote of confidence there.
Yeah. We're not taking the pants approach to this. We're taking the plotting approach to it. And yes, Holly, there is a plan. See, we do this profesh, even though it's chill and super chilled. So what we intend to do is we intend just have a little bit of a chat about what we're going to work on, what we hope to achieve in this session. Join in, let us know what you're working on. And then once we've done that, we're going to write for 25 minutes. We've got a 25-minute countdown that will appear on the screen accompanied by soundscape, which has been provided by the altruistic, the allegorical Alan Stroud. So Alan has provided us some instrumental music to just set a soundscape. So if you write to music, feel free to enjoy it and write along. Or if you are a writer in silence, feel free to mute us. Feel free to mute us anyway, like most people do when I'm on screen. So that's for their mental health. But after 25 minutes, we'll come together. We'll have just a little bit of a chat about how it's gone. Get each other's pumped up for the next round, and then we'll do another 25 minutes, and we'll just rinse and repeat. It's all good. Amy, I think you and Emily have the same plan, which is good.
It's always a good plan.
Be careful getting it out of the oven. I burnt my fingers. It was bad timing. We're about to do writing sprints. I feel,
I feel like we're all, with us all being on camera writing, we're kind of handicapped to begin with. It's we should all get a handicap, right?
I used to do this on Twitch 3 times a week. And I'm not going to lie, it was exhausting because you're like constantly on display. So you feel like, you can't just sit there and just be like, while you think like you would
I don't
normally
know.
be, you know?
Whoa,
I
you
feel like I'm
can't
going to
do
get.
that. What's
Yeah,
what?
that's my plan. That is
On
out the window.
Twitch, it's like you kind of feel like you should be like active, not just like you would normally be as a writer thinking things through.
No, I've just taken like a 3-second video of me typing, and actually I'm going to replace my camera with that when we go into the screen.
Yeah, Holly means to. I think from the sound of that, it's not just that she can. I think Holly intends to fully. Phil, what are you going to be writing while we're having this session? You got something in mind?
Yes, I have. And with everything that you've just been saying, oh God, I can't tell you how I'm really regretting choosing what I'm working on. Not really knowing, it's just really proved to be, oh God, can I please drop out now? Let me explain why. I'm working on on the third book in my British Bureau for the Arcane series. I'm almost at the end, and I'm about to start the climactic battle. It is the biggest battle that I've ever written in all of my books. I've never written anything this big before. It's the whole story is built up to it, and I've just reached the chapter where it all begins. And I can't tell you how nervous I am and how absolutely frightened to death that it's all going to go horribly wrong. One thing, do we have to read any of it?
Only if you want to, Phil. I mean, I think it's very brave you deciding to, climax on camera. I think that's
Sorry?
Is that a first for you?
If you say that too much, we're going to have to put this whole thing in a different bracket.
We should have done this on OnlyFans. Amy, yeah, acting it out. That's what's expected. Yeah, I love it.
Oh God, yeah.
No, I think you're very, very. I don't think you can only read. You can only read if you want to. We're not going to force anything on you because it's chilled. It's chilled out.
Okay.
Yeah, you let me do this, Holly. Yeah, it's not my fault. So Phil's writing the climax of his story, just for context, which I think is awesome. I think it's epic and very exciting.
Climax of the trilogy, not just the story.
Yeah.
And not to put you on the spot, is the Bureau of the Arcane a trilogy, or is it going to be? Is it just a sort of episodic thing? I say just.
It's episodic. It's a series. It's sort of. It's a case of. I was writing a chapter 3 days ago, and I needed a character sort of put in, and it was about 6 hours later. I suddenly thought, "Oh God, yes, that character. That's book 4, and that's how I work." So yeah, but there's a book 4 apparently. I have no idea what's going to happen in it, but I've got a character, so that's a start.
I love it. And if we do enough of these, we'll get to the end of book 4 in no time. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I work in trilogies. So I've got the original Dex trilogy, and now I've got like a series of trilogies. There's a trilogy that's going to come afterwards, which is next in the thing. Most people would just call that one continuous timeline, but I'm calling it first, second, third, fourth trilogy.
I like it. There needs to be 3 of you writing these, Emily, because there needs to be a trilogy of Emily's writing the trilogies of Emily. I think that would be great.
Christ, can you imagine how awful that would be? Like living with 3 of me.
It would be a trimmerly.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
This is a great idea. See, Holly? See?
I love how combative the chilled out writing session is getting already.
I think Jamie, I think Alex, let's not ask Phil because Phil's told us what he's writing. I think Alex should interpretive dance what he's going to be writing for us.
Yes, I think it's a good idea too.
I don't know about interpretive dance, but
oh yeah.
So I'm going into puppeteering now. That's what I'm doing.
We can be cryptic about this. Do we get 20 questions? Oh my God.
I mean, you can do. I feel like the dinosaur book is that was there's not many questions that will lead you to that answer. To be fair, so just powering through on that. Really, I've got the plan that I've got written down in it. One of the bullet points was just like dinosaur bandit death. So that's basically where I am in the manuscript at the moment. So I'll be working on that.
Amazing. I love it. What about you, Emily?
I am on the latest major edit of book 1 of Dex Legacy first trilogy, Evolutions. And so I've had some amends from an amazing beta reader, but I've got to the end of those amends because she's been incredibly busy and life has happened. So I'm now kind of continuing the edit without the stabilizers on. And I feel like I'm trying to, when it's like, I'm going to take everything that you told me in this bit and I'm going to apply it. But it's really tricky to do that sometimes because you're going blind and you're like, I don't know if this is crap. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm just going to be spending all of these sprints being like, I have no idea if this is shit.
That's how I live my life. So I feel, if you're in good company, don't worry.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Thanks. I mean, that sounds pretty. I figured that's how you live your life, Alex.
It's a universal feeling, right? It's a universal feeling. It's just you're obviously not.
No, it's too late. It's too late. I am wounded. Frasier, what are you going to work on today?
I'm working on drafting. That's what I'm working on. Multiverse Madness. I'm at the minute. I'm in a world where, Lightning McQueen in Cars. Yeah. Imagine if that was what Skynet decided to be, and then they just went around eating people. That's the world I'm in right now. So it might be like canon for what happens in Cars because there's all this human stuff that disappears and there's only cars left, and I'm like, So that's the world I'm in at the minute. So I'm hopefully
prequel to Cars.
Yeah. So I'm hopefully going to be getting out of that world and into another one today. But I'm drafting. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write in here that Frasier is drafting. Let everybody in the comments let us know if you're drafting or editing or just reading or just doing something bookish. If you're working on marketing or whatever it is, let us know. So because we got 3 drafters, we've got 1 editor among us today, which is a kind of nice balance. It's kind of good. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Is everybody ready? That's for like the first 25 minutes.
Never.
Right.
Let's go.
Ready as I'll ever be. Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so I would in the comment, I'd like make sure if you're sat at home, you've been to the loo, you've got your drinks. Don't take us to the loo. You can if you want. I'm no judgments, but it's just make sure that this is not going to destroy you. That this is just keeping it chill. Holly is working on the latest draft of Vanguard 3. I love it. Yes, come on, Holly, let's do it. Yeah. So just get ready for just a nice chilled writing session, and then so after 25 minutes, the music will stop, the countdown will finish, and then we'll come together and we'll chat about how we do. So I'm gonna mute my mic, and we can enjoy the wonderful soundscape, the inspiration from Alan Stroud. This is your 30-second warning, guys. And we're away. That's our first 25-minute session done. Woohoo! How did it go?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's the battle coming?
Yeah. It went. It went.
Already?
Yeah, I thought I did all right. So I'm drafting. I'm not trying to make anything good. I'm just trying to make something.
That's awesome. I got 3.5 pages done.
Nice. I thought it looked like you looked like you were scribbling away rather than typing away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going old school, baby. I'm like, it's great. So yeah, 3.5's not bad.
Yeah.
What about you, Emily?
So I did. I've been editing a battle, and one of the things that I've realised I do sometimes is when I'm in battle, I become very like in the moment. You wouldn't know what's going on in your own head because you would be quite mechanical about how you're doing things, and it's only later that you're, sort of processing emotions or whatever. But then that means that when the action is pretty heavy, you can potentially miss the sort of the inevitable feelings that go along with it. And so I've been reading through this battle and injecting more, I guess, emphasis on the importance of what's happening for the character as she moves through this battlefield. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
That's amazing. Woohoo! Let's get some like feedback from the chat. So, Amy's been revising a first chapter for a writing competition. Jamie has been world building. Tom, hello, Tom. He's brought the beard and the snacks, which is great.
Nice.
Hello, Eleni. Thank you for your moral support. So how did everybody do? Holly, 716 words, smashed it. How good is that? Amy, 700 words, getting it down. That's amazing. Tom, 500 words and ended the chapter. Yes.
Damn.
Look at this. That's like, how many words was that like between us? Like, that's epic.
I'm doing words, Fraser. I'm not doing maths. Don't make me do numbers as well.
Now's the time for like the snacks. Like, Tom, what snacks have you brought? As for me, I'm gonna eat a grape.
You crazy fool!
I know, right? It just happened. It just happened live on camera.
Didn't even plan for it.
I've got the last bit of garlic bread, literally this much. How sad is that? I've got to finish it. This is like it's just on my plate. Like, what the hell, Emily?
Plain garlic bread is in full force. Yeah. So that's it's amazing how fast it flies, right?
Yeah. I kept looking at it because it had the big numbers on it. I was like, oh, it's only like 4 seconds left. Oh wait, no, that's 4 minutes. Okay, I've got a little bit more time than I thought.
Oh, a classic. Salt and vinegar chipsticks.
Nice.
Oh yeah. You're speaking my language. I got some sea salt dark chocolate, but like no chipsticks, I'm afraid. They would pair well, I think, Tom. I think that
sea salt dark chocolate and one grape.
Oh, I have like the rest of the bunch, but I'm only going to eat them one at a time. I'm not a monster. So, Holly says, question for us: what's a good one-word term for the feeling when you lose all hope?
Despair.
I didn't think we were doing that badly on the stream. Is that what she's talking about?
Oh, I thought it was a legit question. I didn't think you were being sarcastic. Okay, well, there's the neurodivergent in me. I'm thinking, yes, okay, what would be that word?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it is.
Amy's going for despair.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Holly, what's the feeling that you get when you spend 5 minutes talking to me? That's the word that you were looking for. That's Oh, there you go. See, it's for the book. It's for the book. So we've got despair.
Oh, okay.
We've got despair. So when you lose all hope. So yeah, despair's a good one.
Disappointment
Yeah,
in yourself.
disappointment. Like dread. Oh, Holly, stop it, you. Pure delight. Honestly, that's not what you're looking for. Oh yes, Alex. Alex has
It's a
gone.
reverse dictionary, so I don't know if it'll be helpful.
Yes.
I've already beaten you to it, Alex. I'm doing this online. You've got misery, desolation, hopelessness, anguish, gloom, despondency, dejection, joy, quail. You could quail if
Yeah, but
you put that back in the bird.
But
Yeah.
are you
I
on the
thought you
wrong
were talking
page
about dinner
with a
there.
picture
I
of a
was
church?
like,
I think, you know.
it's quite possibly the most middle class interpretation of that word in the list.
What you're saying?
Yeah, you could use it as the word and then a metaphor as well. That would be
Yes.
is it a hollow hopelessness or a distressed one? That's a great question.
Bringing us
Maybe.
back on topic here. Well done. Ian.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Hollow
In
hopelessness.
that case, it would be a hollow hopelessness.
Yes.
Hey?
Holly
And I'm
hollow.
going with like, despair.
Yeah, I think despair's a good. You knocked it out of the park right away.
Mm-hmm.
Despair in the reverse dictionary says, state of deep depression, slough of despond. Nothing against slough, but I think it's more slough of despond. Despondence, lethargy,
What
spiritual
about
lethargy.
like I don't know if this is like too close to the mark, but what about like hopelessness? Like, because that's like the opposite of hope, right?
Just putting it out there, Ivory.
Just throwing that out there, right?
Actually, this is the thing. Like sometimes when I'm drafting and I'm trying to get into the headspace of my characters go through some horrible stuff. So it's sort of difficult sometimes to get down what they would be feeling. And instead of trying to be poetic about it, I just sort of inhabit that space and I'm like, okay, what is it they're feeling? And I just write it in plain English and just, like this is what is going on in their heads. And then the sort of I know the rest of it comes in the editing phase, but actually sometimes I read back over a passage that I've written that was just very matter of fact to the point. This is what this person is feeling, and sometimes it's really powerful, just doing that in plain English and not, and sort of not complicating it.
It was one of the tips that my writing tutor gave me some years ago, Emily, was just that the simpler the language, the greater impact it has, and not to overcomplicate it. So I think you're right.
I love it.
Yeah, although I have to say, precision of language is important, and making sure you use the right word.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to But yeah, like the words everybody knows. I mean, nothing throws me out of a narrative than the need to pick up a flipping dictionary to know what the hell something means.
Yeah.
Your dictionary flips? That's amazing. Well, it must do if it's a paper when it flips like that, doesn't it? It is a flipping dictionary.
This is me trying not to say fuck on the stream, but obviously.
Unmoored.
Ooh, gosh, well done, Eleni. Really good.
Yeah.
It depends if the nautical metaphors are continuous through the passage, or if this is suddenly throwing a nautical metaphor in there with no others.
Yeah. Good point.
Like weightless, for instance, that could be. When you're feeling so awful about something that you're like barely even aware of your body. And like sometimes if something has just gone, like I sort of describe things as numb, like a numb reaction. Oh, they're on a boat in this specific scene.
Boom.
Well.
Boom. That's 717 words, Holly. And we're not even counting them. That's amazing. I'd say the one part that I was actually quite pleased with that I was writing in a scene, I'm not going to give you the exact sentences, but the concept of it, characters like crawling over dust, which is like the powdered bones of human remains, and the fallen metal of like the Lightning McQueen cars that have fallen in battle, and is like slicing their hand on the jagged edges of the car, and is like, is this what it's like? Is this like the skeleton of a machine? Is this what it's like to be a machine that you can wound even from beyond the grave? See, I mean, I quite liked that. I quite liked that as
Wow.
and I wrote it and I was like, this is nice. And then I wrote absolute drivel. So I feel like I've got maybe like one
it's really
sentence I
dark
can
there,
use.
Frasier. Really dark, that is.
I did, yeah. I was just sort of looking. I was like, yeah, that's a really cool imagery. And then, Phil, you were like, I don't want to live that. That's not. Your expression was like, not for me, thank you. No,
My
thank you.
main thoughts was: is this a human hurting their hand on it, or is it another car?
Yeah, no, it's a human.
Okay, in which
They're
case
in human
they
form,
should be
they're just
really
like-
worried about infection.
Yeah, not really though. Like it's a war, isn't it? Like,
Well, I mean, still. I mean,
Infection can come in the editing phase. We're not, we're not worried about that in the first draft.
I feel like, immediate trip to the med tent after this fight.
They've got antibiotics in their pockets.
yeah,
There you
Stim
go.
shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my character's a little bit of a wimp, so he's like that does track. But all my characters are wimpish. All my main characters. I don't understand why. I write it. I don't know. Is it me putting myself into them too much? I think it probably.
You're not a wimp, but I would say that having a healthy concern for infection is not wimpish. It is practicality.
Tell you what, I'm not gonna slice them. I'm just gonna go and what's a better word for slice?
I don't know. It depends. What's the output?
It just hurts, right? So I don't want them their hand gushing in blood or anything, but I want it to be
graze?
noticeable. Graze, that'll do. Yes.
Or when you touch something, when I'm talking about really, really sharp things that could cut you, I call it like a whisper sharp edge, because it's like when it cuts through the air, it's like it whispers.
That's nice. Yeah.
Stinging.
Puncture
That's
as well.
it.
If that's you got the car aspect there for puncture as well. Just puncture the skin. Doesn't feel as bad as slicing.
Tell you what, how about that? Palms stinging at the whisper sharp edges of broken metal.
Nice.
Yeah? Happy with that?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You can have that one for free. I get beta readers highlighting whisper sharp all the time, being like, "Oh, that's nice." Yeah.
That basically guarantees you in the acknowledgements, which is pretty good. Yeah. Thanks, Emily, for the whisper. And then if anybody's curious, they can come back and rewatch this and be like, "That's where it happened."
Well, that's actually kind of one of the things I enjoy about we're doing this live chill writing stream, because it's on YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. So if anyone ever wants to come back and just I missed it today, they can do it. Come back and watch it tomorrow or whenever they want. And you won't be alone in your writing again.
Exactly.
So, hello, future people, if you're ever doing that, including myself.
It would be weird if we got future people making joining in the comments. That would be weird. Let's not do that. Yeah. Hopefully, everybody has had enough of a break to have eaten some grapes or whatever you're snacking on, and to have refueled for the next session. Is everybody ready to dive back in?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's put another 25. I'm muting myself and then putting another 25 minutes on the clock. Happy writing, guys. Here we go.
You.
And that's 25 minutes done. Is it heating up, guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Both in this room particularly and in the manuscript. Yeah, we've got the main character charging recklessly towards a small shield wall, but thankfully his dinosaur is there to back him up, so it's all good.
Yes.
How's your stuff going? How's everybody?
Yeah, how's everybody's doing?
Slower, that second one. That was it was one of those questions. It was a bit like you were saying. I suddenly got stuck on trying to find a metaphor that just wouldn't occur to me at all, and I must have spent 10 minutes trying to work on the metaphor, trying to sort of summon it, and it just wouldn't arrive. I mean, I think I got there in the end, but it was really difficult, and I got completely bogged down with, how you're supposed to just carry on and write, put in metaphor here.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I should.
Yeah, it's easy to say that, but when you're in the, you're like, I know it's just at the back of.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
It's difficult.
Yeah. I'll haul it out from the back of my sort of brain somehow or other. Yeah.
600 words for Amy.
Yeah.
We got 694 for Holly, and
nice.
It's pretty. If you use your protagonist's name 15 times in those 694 words, Holly, pretty good. That's a good ratio. Tom, 300. Nice one.
Yep.
The Devon's Tom, 427, and with dog distractions. That's amazing.
This is all awesome. People are doing so well.
What about you, Emily? What did you get?
Oh, well, I mean, I managed to get to the end of a big battle scene. And one of the things I've been sort of tying into this draft is the journey. So basically in the audio drama, because it's an adaptation of the audio drama, so it's a bit tricky, but I've been trying to take the audio drama starts out with them being horrifically awful, ruthless killers already. And what I'm trying to do is knit in a journey that actually gets them there and sort of causes them some issues. And in this fight, the main female character is just there and she's flying and she's noticed this change. And so I'm sort of, making the most of that. And she's actually enjoying it, which is both disturbing and kind of satisfying at the same time. She basically murders about 1,500 of the enemy by causing a landslide. And is very impressed with herself at the end of it.
That was amazing. I got 4 pages done, and I ran out of different ways to say that this guy was following this other character, and I came up with that he was keeping tally with her footsteps. Does that make sense, or is that stupid? Honest answer.
I think that made sense to me. Like when you said that, I sort of, especially if it's within the context of she's been following or they've been following her. I think that makes sense to me.
To me,
I don't know, man. It depends if you're counting.
He was counting the footsteps.
Yeah. I'm just gonna circle that and put change.
I mean, it depends, because if you're counting in fives, and it's very neurodivergent to count footsteps as you're walking. I do it all the time. It's incessant. It's really annoying. So if you're saying tally with the footsteps or something, then it sounds like, a neurodivergent person walking along being like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, how many steps does it take me to get to Tesco's?
Yeah. What's the most unhinged way of saying that someone's following another person? Like, imagine something terrible's just gone down. It's like the person's reeling and they're trying to follow this other person, and they're just trying to get some sense of normalcy back. So how can you say that without I followed them?
Oh, they're stalking them.
Stalking's good. Shadowing's good. Yeah.
When you were talking about tallying, I thought you might have meant in tandem, in as much as that it was, sort of almost side or sort of behind, in a tandem bike.
Yeah, that's cool. Haunting's good, yeah. I like it. I like it. These are all good options. Thanks, guys. Amy has never really had a chance to chat with other writers before. Hi, Amy. This is your chance.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Do we all do that when we're stuck? Just square brackets.
Writing cool fights.
Like
Yeah.
in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've got it in a book that I drafted ages ago, the original Dex trilogy. I've got an entire chapter that is just bullet points. And one of them is fighty, fighty, stabby, stabby, battle ensues, this guy wins. I've written the rest of it.
Yeah.
When by the way, it's not out.
It gets bogged down, doesn't it? Which is what, I think is so easy that you finish up going down, sort of, very deep, dark and strange rabbit holes if you're not careful, trying to find the answer to that one particular problem. And you get so distracted that you then lose track of what it was that you were actually trying to do in the first place. Which is why I think it's a good idea to put brackets and then just write, fighty, fighty, stabby, stabby.
I mean,
I
I'd say also
Holly's. Holly's is cool sword, bro.
Yeah, cool. So, also writing fight scenes is such a specific mood that it's almost best to wait until you've got a solid chunk of time that you can just write it.
Completely agree.
That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah. And you really do have to be in the right mood, don't you? You have to have a certain focus upon the readiness for blood.
Yes.
I mean, in the same vein, I've got a lot of characters at the moment as I'm going through, which are just, I don't have any names for them. They're just like capital letters of what they are, like mentor and, husband. And I was like, I'll come up with a name later. That's fine.
Do you take naming things seriously?
Moderately seriously, not as, So I don't. So I take it from what I'm taking from that question is their name means,
yes,
exactly. Amazing person. So that's what their name means. But I figure it's a novel or a story, so you can take it a little bit farther. But I also kind of like the idea. It's like, well, you don't get to pick. I don't get to change my name at 16 because I'm actually the chosen one. Like maybe you should. Maybe that's how. Actually, no, you used to call me Bob, but I'm actually called Vociferous now.
I know a few
it's
Bobs.
A choice, but
I know a few Bobs, and I don't think any of them match a Vociferous. They definitely suit Bob.
Exactly. They should stay Bob. That's fine.
Yeah, but also they're not the chosen one, presumably. So
why can't Bob be the chosen one? Come on, the chosen Bob. Bob the chosen.
Bobs,
No, I do have that as kind of idea for a story though, the kind of portal fantasy chosen one, but he missed it, and now he's just like a dentist in his 40s, and they all come back for him and we still need your help, Bob. So sorry, I'm a dentist.
We need your help, my teeth.
You could take those skills through the portal the next time, and it's like, whoever needs a molar extraction on the side of a battlefield. And it's like,
that's it. The dragon that's the overlord, actually, he just needs a filling.
Who is the chosen Bob? That's the tagline right
there.
To be fair,
toothache is going to drive you to some horrible acts.
Yeah.
If someone can fix my toothache, they would be the chosen one in my eyes. I am a little bit concerned about Holly, because I know the context of this Holly, but I am just checking. That's just not in general, right? That's for writing.
I think both, surely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for a quick wee. I'm gonna be back in a minute. So
enjoy. Which reminds me, everybody, if you're joining in and you're tuning in, if you need a quick wee, now's your time to race against Emily. This is it. This is your opportunity. Don't forget your snacks. I'm going to break this out. Hey, I guess it depends on whose scent it is you're trailing, Holly.
I respectfully disagree there. If you're following anyone's scent, it's pretty creepy.
Yeah, I guess if they're only trailing your scent, if they're not trailing you, just your scent, that is a bit creepy, isn't it? That's like some perfume.
But if you're trailing something and it's more of a stench than a scent.
Yeah. Phil's hung out with me in real life. Yeah. Agreed, Thomas. We've all agreed. I was wrong. It is creepy. Just realised we could also probably, with me eating, factor in some ASMR in this as well.
Yeah. It's just what is not to love about this stream?
Yeah. Oh, there you go, Carl. That's what you can write on your next sprint session. An island full of bobs, and only one bob can lead them to freedom. But which bob will it be?
Yeah.
Which of the bobs?
Good.
Oh, can you imagine an island of bobs? Like only bobs on the island. That would be so good.
Yeah, one bob to rule them all. Oh, no, sorry. No, it's been done, isn't it?
And they all have bobs. That's the bob with bobs. They
Oh,
all
yeah.
have bobs.
Yeah. An island of hairdressers.
I feel like I came back at exactly the right time.
The bobbit.
The bobbin.
We're talking about Carl's story idea about this island of bobs in which only one bob can lead them to freedom. But who will it be?
Yeah.
It's like trying to escape the island of bobs to
But
become the Robert.
But we've got the Bobiverse already. Has anyone talked about
Yes,
the
Yeah.
Very
That's a
insane.
book I still need to read.
Yeah.
I have
It's
it.
a self-pubbed one because, but it's one of the really, really big self-pub titles. So
Emily recommended it to me donkeys years ago, and I still haven't. It's still on the TBR. It's the Bobiverse.
the audiobook is really good as well. They ended up doing, Yeah.
Very good.
I love it. How was your wee, Emily?
Most satisfactory, thank you.
I'm just making sure. It's all good.
Being a good host.
You know what? I think I'm only half done. Give me a second. Why do you like me to behave this badly when I'm in front of people, Frasier?
No, it's good. It's all good. So, so this next session is going to be the last. It's going to be our last 25-minute session, and then we'll be done. We can finally catalogue. Like, we can add up how much we've all done.
Oh,
So,
Jesus, fuck.
so
No.
how good is that? So is everybody ready for this, for the final?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I've discovered that I am ignoring my plan completely, so I'm just going for it. So
You had a plan?
it wasn't a very good one, apparently, but yes, I did.
Strap in, baby. We're going for another 25 minutes. Here we go. See you on the other side.
That's it. Final one down.
Boom. How good is that?
It's great.
Do you know what?
Also, before we get too distracted, also, I just wanted to say that the music from Alan Stroud, as we've been going through this, very atmospheric for some writing. It's great, very good music.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Alan.
We had a couple of Dex tracks thrown in there. We've had like a lot of the Aphelion soundtrack. I don't Aphelion. I don't know how. Sorry,
Aphelion.
Aphelion.
Yeah,
So yeah,
we view some of that in Wasteland. Yeah.
Yeah. I literally just finished my chapter. I just got out of my like Deathly Cars world.
Amazing.
How amazing is that? I'm so happy. How did everybody do?
I think pretty good.
Yeah. Not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, can't argue. Got from page 81 to page 92.
Nice.
And it was quite intense. Also, it's when you're trying to layer things in editing. So you read a section, you're like, okay, how can I make that better? So you're going through it section by section, and it's, yeah. So I'm reasonably happy with that.
Good.
That's amazing.
That's what we want. At least, if reasonably happy is a good way to start.
I plump for adequate, and then aim to impress.
We got 643 for Holly. Nice one, Holly.
Wow, gosh.
I think
Great.
Bob has been glorified. I think that was great. Yeah. Look, that one flew by.
Yeah.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Love that Holly loved the music. Thomas Devons with 606,
Nice.
only 60 away from a very creepy number. Nice one, Tom. Yeah. So 11 pages for Emily. I got 4.5 pages done. So that averages at about. So I've done like 12 pages today. So I don't know how much that is, but it's not too shabby. It's not too shabby.
Well, I feel very inadequate in that case because that last session I only wrote 230.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome, Phil.
Yeah, it's very slow work.
Amy's got the first draft of the chapter done.
Nice.
Love it. Love
Awesome.
it. What happened with the rushing towards the shield wall, Alex? Did the dinosaur help out? Did they survive?
I mean,
No spoilers.
The enemies didn't. No spoilers, but yeah. Well, the trick they were playing a trick, you see, because he was running towards the shield wall. They didn't know the dinosaur was there, so he sort of appeared out of nowhere, and they were like, "Oh shit, a dinosaur!" And then while they were distracted, he stabbed them in the face.
Nice. Nice.
To be fair, I'd be pretty distracted by a dinosaur as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
It's effective.
I feel like me and Alex, maybe we were both inspired by the same music because I also had like a distraction technique in part of the scene that I was writing. So like,
Great lines.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And I always like this music comes up in decks, and I always have distractions going on because there are 3 of them. And you can't have your eyes on all of them at once. It's like trying to keep track of 3 spiders in different parts of a room, you know? Like, you can't do it. Like,
Yeah, you need to set one spider on the other. That's what you need to do with that. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Tom. Thank you for joining. I hope your snack was amazing. Your crisp sticks. That's, to me, that's like the key of a good writing sprint. Get the right snacks. You got the right attitude. So yeah, how does everybody feel about how it went? Everybody's like, oh, hang on, maneuvered.
anyone ever felt the word maneuvered right the first time? No.
Absolutely not.
No. And if I'm writing not on a computer, like, analog, if I'm writing analog, I have literally found a way to not use that word.
Yeah.
Rather than show I can't spell it.
Yes. See, I got really, so I obviously write in British English because I'm British, but then I release all of my books in American English because there's like, just because, okay? Like, don't judge me. But maneuvered is one of those words that is different in American English, and I worked so hard to learn how to spell it right in British English, and then it tells me to change it every single time. So now I'm just like, stuff it, get rid of it. Like,
what is it?
Maneuvered?
Yeah.
Oh, let me check. Hang
Have
on.
they dispensed with some vowels? Because I actually respect this in the United States sometimes. Like, you know.
So I think it is Maneuver in American.
That feels simpler.
Yeah.
So it's like hang on. I think it's man. Is it that? Someone in the chat tell me if that's right.
Man, Ourver. Oh, EU.
Maneuver. As opposed
Maneuver.
to, I think,
Yeah, Tom's saying that's right.
man.
So it's spelled phonetically, isn't it?
As opposed
I'm
to
good with that.
that.
Oh god,
Yeah.
yeah, no, why?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
One
like
could
somebody
say
discovered
you
news and just decided to throw them about.
maneuvered around it. Very good, Mr. Buckbeard. Very good indeed. I like that a lot. Jamie did great. World building, major plot point clicked,
That's great.
and
That's always what you
click,
want.
which is brilliant. I love it. So yeah, brilliant. Oh, I love it. This is so good. Does everybody feel like that was worth doing? Would anybody want to
Yeah, definitely.
come join us on another one in a future installment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely up for it. I think
Yeah.
it's, as we say, it's so easy to just do this stuff on your own. It's actually just not, even though, when during the sprints, we're all doing our own separate thing, you're sort of doing it separately together, which is, I think, just really nice.
Yeah,
And
I
you know
don't think
what? Like having done it alone on Twitch and having to do the one-man show, this is so much easier.
Mm.
Like,
yeah.
it's so much nicer. Being the one-man show is like, oh,
I can imagine you just have
I
to
think
be.
it's also
have to bring
important to
all the
stop
energy.
every once in a while too, and just reflect upon what you're doing, because otherwise it's very easy, isn't it, just to keep on pounding away on the old keyboard, and everything then sort of gets overwhelmed. But this forces you to stop and think and talk and interact and do human things.
Let you
God,
biscuit. Yeah,
human things.
yeah. I'm going to up my snack game next time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch this back and see what my writing face is. That's my. I've never seen it before. It's going to be amazing.
So, as you said, Emily, we confer, like, we're all sort of got questions of like, what's a good word for this? Is this a good way to, it's a great thing. So maybe next time, Phil, you could remember that, like, if we do it again with some people, then you can think, I'll leave that. I'll ask some people for their advice, or got a couple of things, and then that might just help you keep it going.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if there's like a stretch where it's got just bullet points, you could just like bring the bullet points that you skipped over in the last draft, and then just be like, okay, I'm attacking these.
Tom, why are you awake at 5 o'clock in the morning? Like, what is that all about?
Oh,
like,
no.
I get doing it early in the day, but there's such a thing as like too early in the day, right?
No, it's
like, yeah. No, Saturday at 2, perfect time for just a chilled out thing.
I've had at least 2 cups of tea.
Yeah, and some garlic bread.
And some garlic bread, and I'm good to go. And by the way, I just caught sight of my face in the thing. This is my horrified face. Yeah.
Next time, everybody bring your own grapes. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's so nice to do this together. And that's what we're all about, Spotlight Indie, just like community, building it together. So yeah, nice one. And
before we log off, too, like, just to reiterate my, the stickers aspect of this, like, make sure that everyone's done like at least 600 words in its, a sprint and stuff like that. So my general rule of thumb is that you get a sticker for 400 words, and I've done like 1600 today, so that gets me a shiny sticker. So just making sure you're rewarding yourself with grapes or stickers or whatever else it is.
Make sure you go treat yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what? My go-to is chocolate raisins, which is dangerous.
Yeah, so that sounds like a good idea, but I just would like all the chocolate.
Nowhere
one per
near
word,
as dangerous as mine, Emily. Mine is a bottle of white wine.
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm on this page, but then it's like, if you get past a particular difficult part, is it like I deserve a whole packet?
You know what? I feel like if we manage them all together, like, you'd get a sticker, you'd have chocolate raisins, dash it down with some white wine, and then finish it off with a grape. That would be like
The healthy bit at the end. So you're like, it's all right. I've been
Yeah.
healthy. I've had a great.
That's
Exactly.
dessert.
Yeah, it's part of my 5 a day.
So for everybody who's joined us, thank you so much. For us lot who've been doing it live together, let's just walk around, and just for anybody else who wants to like connect and everything like that, we always finish with the socials, right? So Phil, where can people find you?
You've thrown me. Phil Speculates on Blue Sky and Twitter sometimes, occasionally. And Phil Speculates on Facebook too.
Yeah, I love it. Alex, what about you?
Alex S. Bradshaw at the various places that I'm at. So Instagram, Facebook, and alexsbradshaw.com as well. So yeah, just come find me, and do another writing sprint with you. It's all great.
Yeah, Emily.
Oh, I've just found Phil. Sorry, I'm already following you. Okay, good. Okay, just checking. So I am at Emily Inkpen everywhere. That's just me. It's really simple. Or if you Google Emily Inkpen, I come up everywhere. So I'm like a marketing whore. So I'm literally like everywhere. If you just Google my name. So yes, Emily Inkpen.
That was a marketing whore, not at marketing whore. Just saying for anybody, don't Google marketing whore and expect to find Emily.
No.
Holly's right. The wine, the raisins, the grape. Alex, the shininess has to be the sticker of a grape, right? Otherwise, a grape.
Of course.
In terms of me, Frasier Armitage everywhere. In terms of Spotlight Indie, the website is spotlightindie.co.uk. Go check us out. Follow us on all the socials at Spotlight Indie. There's a lot more support and resources for indie writers that we've got on there and that we've also got coming up. So just enjoy it. Keep writing, and we'll see you next time on Spotlight Indie.